Jesus said your problem is a heart problem.
This one for anybody on the scope. This one for anybody losing hope. Pray for your enemies, keep them close. Pray for your enemies, keep them close. God finna prepare the table. God finna prepare the table.
I would thank you for this podcast, this platform, this city. Thank you for just being the ultimate best father ever. We just pray for protection over this weekend. You're such a good, amazing father. We just pray over Springfield in your name. Amen. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Keeping Up with Cash. It's your host, Cash Money Morgan, and my lovely, beautiful guest for the evening, Elli Michael. Yeah. Elli, longtime listener of the pod, show choir queen, curly hair goddess. How the heck is it going?
It's going so great, Morgan. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for being alive and for also being here. Elli, it's so great having you here. Elli and I are actually getting all geared up and ready to go to a Christian rap festival this weekend in Nashville called Holy Smoke. Zonti's going to be there. No big deal. Whataburger. I don't even know if I'm saying that name correctly. Yeah, we're really, really excited. The outfits have been coordinated. The TikTok sounds are saved.
Yep.
What are you most looking forward to this weekend?
I don't know. I love finding new music, but it's just so not a priority in my life. So I'm excited to hear the music live and jump around, have a good time, and probably add some songs to my playlist. So.
Period.
Yeah.
And Elli's so real because Zonti's one of my favorite artists, and she sent the festival to me like I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
And God's honestly really blessed everything about this weekend. He's given us like a hotel opportunity that was way in our budget. There's 5 of us going. Just super. I told the girlies, I was like, guys, we're walking out here with new friends and husbands. I'm about to be like, have you met Elli?
Speak it into
I'm
existence.
like, we are going to utilize some free will and make some stuff happen. Obviously,
Yes.
God is God, and He's gonna, we can open the door, He can slam it, but we're gonna open the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Exactly.
yes. All right, Elli, tell the people who the heck you are. Okay, who are you? Where are you from? And where do you work at? Well, you don't have to say like the place. What do you do for work? And what's a fun fact about you?
Awesome. Well, I'm Elli. I'm 26 years young, and
Period.
I grew up in Webb City, Missouri. Went to college in Branson and found myself here in Springfield, and it's my new home. I love it here, and I have a new career now. I am an underwriter's assistant in the insurance world.
That was the wrong button.
And just rocking and roll with that. Fun fact about me, there's so many.
And they're actually like super iconic. Like some people, you're like, what's your fun fact? And it's like, I own a dog. Elli's like, well, I lost a dog and it was in a garbage truck and then we found it and it was fine. Yay. It's like, I love your fun facts. Like so good.
It's a lot to carry having such a colorful and crazy life. So I'm glad I get to entertain my friends.
Yay.
The one I landed on for today is that I counted, and I have lived in 23 homes / dorm rooms in my lifetime.
Okay. That's the wrong button. Guys, it's been a while since I've like sat down and like really potted.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm here for the mistakes. I'm here for the chaos.
So yeah, 23 places I've lived
23.
in 26 years.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What would you say was probably like your most favorite place that you stayed?
So I love where I'm at now. I've lived in my apartment. It's a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath just for me. I've lived here for, this will be going on 3 years, and it's just really nice that there's like there's no, I look toward the future and I don't have any sort of moving in mind until like I'm married, which will be such a happy occasion. So just knowing that I don't know, I get to stay there and just be, and but there was a house that I loved because this house had like something built onto it, so it had 2 master bedrooms.
Wow.
So I had the one on the bottom floor, and I had my own bathroom and my own walk-in closet, which I actually turned into a library. So it was really cool in there. So
Wow, that's amazing. Quick pause, because I'm just gonna fix my mic really quick. And then I can edit this out later. This is the stuff that you're like, oh, Morgan doesn't edit. Morgan edits this kind of stuff. I was like, it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure it's like, because I felt like it was like kind of airy before, and now I feel like it's better. That's amazing. I lived in a lot of apartments in Springfield, Green Bay. I mean, I have not moved that many times. So do you feel like moving that many times, it was hard for you to adjust, or was it all like within like a 15-mile radius?
Yeah, I never moved schools, which is amazing. I'm not a military brat. You know, it's not because
Just
of
a brat.
that. Yeah, just a brat.
No, I'm just
Yes, adding that to my repertoire.
if you're a brat, then what am I? Like,
exactly. So it honestly, like, I mean, it's just one of those things with your childhood where like you don't know any different, so you just kind of like roll with the punches and just see the best in it. So I always was like, oh my gosh, a new theme. And so I would do a different theme every bedroom, and I would downsize, I would like declutter, and so just trying to make the most of it. But it definitely was frustrating. Like, I didn't really care to like meet my neighbors. I didn't really care to like form community there, because it was like, who knows how long we're gonna stay here. So but I had my community at church and then like at my school. But my best friend I met because she lived right behind me, and so I had a group of neighborhood kids there. But like once, because I lived in that house for 10 years, but after that I was like, well, I'm never gonna find anything like this, so might as well not even try.
Was it the first house you were at, or
the one I remember? I lived in like 2 when I was a baby, but this was like from like 3, not 10 years, I'm not good at math, 3 to 10, so 7 years.
It felt like 25 years.
Exactly. So
why did you guys move so much? Well, if it's like deep stuff, we don't have to touch on it. But
so my parents got divorced when I was 10, so I'm counting 2 different houses. So like my mom, we moved a lot because we couldn't afford the bills, so we would like downsize, and then they'd get a new job and like, oh, we can afford something better, and then we can't, and then we moved down. And
gotcha.
That's what it was like over there. And then with my dad, it was less moving, but with my dad it wasn't quite as much moving. But he got married, then remarried, then divorced, and lived with my aunt. So just a lot of, I think my parents were also trying to find like their way through life, and so we just tied along with them and figured it out.
No, I feel like that kind of stuff, it makes you grow up a little bit earlier, but like you said, you don't know any different, right? So it's like we don't really know. But that is a fun fact, though. That is pretty wild. What was, you said your favorite house was that one big one with the 2 master bedrooms?
And funny story, we had a Wendy's like right basically in our backyard, so every morning getting ready for school, we would like smell the bacon that they would cook in the morning, and so we would always be like, oh, we need Wendy's for breakfast. So it was tough.
Did you guys get Wendy's a lot for breakfast?
Actually, no, I've never had. We're poor, okay?
That's like literally me in the loft. Like, I'll wake up to the smell of bacon, and then I'm so bad because I'll be like, I'm actually gonna go eat at a different place. I know, I'm like, I don't know the last time I actually ate like where I'm like residing, but that's just my journey. Okay, Elli, so those are awesome. One exciting thing that you've done this year is you actually have your own podcast now. Again, wrong button. Life is a highway. Yes. Okay, Elli, tell us a little bit about your podcast.
It is so much fun. Honestly, it was one of those things that I don't know if you see this on TikTok, where it's like, just start. Like, you have to start somewhere. Don't.
Girlie, I'm in sales. It's like, start the next business. Do it. And I'm like, no, I need to stop. I need to sleep.
Exactly.
Leave me alone.
So, honest to God, I have not really sat down and been like, this is my vision for my podcast. And so it's kind of just been like fly by the seat of my pants and just have a lot of fun with it. But really, it's my way to, like, I mean, I found myself basically having podcasts both myself because I'm a verbal processor.
Yeah.
So in the car, in the shower, I'm like, I mean, why do I not just put this on the internet?
Bro, we are so the same. That's the shower one. I'm like, that's like how I practice.
Yeah. So
Also my future vows.
No, for real.
I know.
That's me as I'm trying to fall asleep, for sure.
I love it.
So, the first season was a lot of just, this is, like, I wanted to document my mid-20s, a big change, and so it's called My Digital Diary. So I wanted to have something for my grandkids to listen to one day. I'm not super consistent with journaling as much as I want to, but there's just so much going on up here that I really want to look back on one day and reflect on. So that was the goal of season 1. And then season 2, people were like, are you going to have guests on? I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun. So season 2 so far has been all guests, which people that are listening, like, I've been asking a couple people and they're like, it'd probably be better if there's a little bit of both. And I'm like, yeah, but honestly, after this season, I don't have anybody left, so probably have no more guests. I'm having trouble finding.
She's like gonna get on a Facebook group. Who wants to be on my podcast? Yeah. Shelly from like Central Park Street. It's gonna
exactly. Well, so like I'm on a dating app right now. It's okay, but anytime I talk about my podcast, like, can I be on? And I'm just like,
it's so cool, like, seeing you go through this, because oh my gosh, have I already been through all of this? And it's like so. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like not giving like freshman and senior, but like
I'm like, you're little. Like,
yes, that's exactly how it feels. Yes, because I remember when everyone, like, literally, I remember my first season, and then everyone goes, okay, well, you did solos, and we want to hear about your life. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll do this many interviews, and then I'll do a solo, you know? And then, like, people always asking me, and I remember the first, like, one person had asked me, and I really was like, bro, deep down, our core values, like, do not align. And I know you want your episode to be, like, just about your business. And I'm like, this is not a free advertisement. Like, this is keeping up with cash. Like, we are going to keep up with cash.
Yeah, exactly.
But you kind of have to understand your brand. And honestly, like, not everyone's intention and vision is going to match that. And so you have to really allow God's, like, discernment to really show you, like, it is something that you need to allow on the platform to be a vessel into people who trust you and want to tune in lives,
Yeah.
So it's cool seeing you go through this. But I'll tell you what, the Lord provides. You're always going to have a guest. And also be more active on LinkedIn. I mean, that's like, I've met so many, like, guests and potential guests from, like, LinkedIn. Yeah, but I'm also, like, a chronic messenger, I'm like, oh, like, you're 6 feet tall. Connect. Like, crazy.
Yeah, I've just been like, I have, because I think about my first season, I felt like I was pouring a lot of, like, wisdom that I've learned in my life. So I'm like, I know people around me have different life journeys, and they have things that they've learned and from their perspective. And from either their age or their job or their life circumstance. So yeah, now that I'm kind of, some things have kind of fallen through, so I don't know if I'll have a guest for every episode, but I really want to have one where people put in questions and I answer them. But that means I have to, like, badger people to ask me questions. So we'll see.
Even if they don't ask you questions, hello ChatGPT. I mean,
we'll just pretend.
I mean, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make things work for you. People ask you like 3 questions, then you just figure out the rest. Like, you just kind of make it work. But so I know you mentioned that you would talk to yourself a lot, which I do that as well. Is having a podcast something that you've always kind of had a dream for? Sorry. Or, when you saw that video on TikTok being, like, started, how did you know, like, a podcast was the direction you wanted to go in?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I have for at least the last, like, 5 years. And I have also grown up watching a lot of vlogs, and so I thought that was what I wanted to do. But that was a lot of energy. A lot.
It is a lot of energy.
You have to be, like, just so on and animated and all that stuff. And I had done some, like, TikTok stuff before, like setting up my classroom and things like that, and those were fun. But still, it was sitting down for like an hour at night editing them. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't really. But I was doing them every day, and I was like, I don't really know about that. And so, honestly, seeing you have one, I was like, oh, like, you can have a job and do this, and like,
still trying to see if I can.
And I'm like, and just like hearing you kind of talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff, just kind of like what it's like having one. I'm like, and so I actually recorded one and posted it, no edits, and I think I don't even know how many views it got because I deleted it because I was like, that is actually ridiculous that I did that. I don't even think I had a title. It was just some untitled, not even under a podcast title. Like, it was crazy. So I don't know. I just think words are so powerful, and I liked the aspect of not having to look presentable and just because like there were times that I would be like crying a little bit or like, and I sat down and thought about those because I had lots of ideas for podcasts. I'm like, I could do one where I just try different foods, and I could do one where I just talk about awful dates I've been on, or and so I kind of mixed it all together and kind of created what I've got. So
no, I love that. I mean, everyone knows really like the heartbeat behind mine. Even behind my why was I obviously have always loved like radio and broadcasting, but feeling like, okay, you have these comedy podcasts, they're kind of raunchy, or you have these Christian podcasts that don't feel relatable, and I want something that it's like, hey, I am a Christian woman in my 20s who is doing corporate life, but also trying to, healthily date while navigating like what God has for my life. And it's like raw and it's real. Yeah. And I mean, I feel you so much, girl, because even like the first couple episodes, I'm like, girl, you are not thinking about a digital footprint for myself. And it's like crazy to hear like the subtweeting that was going on, like, just everything going on. And like, but I think the biggest thing is I too listen to a lot of podcasts, and what I always remind myself is sometimes you feel like you're doing all this editing and all this work, and you're like, is anyone actually really listening? And one of my friends from church camp, she's like, when does your next episode come out? Shout out my girl Allison, I love you. And I was like, oh girl, it's been a crazy summer. I haven't been able to record next. She goes, well, I can't wait. Like, they're so uplifting and encouraging to me. And it just was such a blessing because, sometimes we're always wanting that like full-time influencer, you're making tons of money, but really if God gave you a gift of a platform to do this because you love it and you're good at it, you enjoy it, it's like if you get to reach 10 people and make an impact, that's 10 lives that could be changed, and you're obeying God's calling on that. And so it's just been such a fun journey of navigating. Like, my self-worth is not in my social media, my identity is not a podcaster. I'm this is an act of obedience. It's something that I enjoy to do, but also, having fun with the process and doing it for, experiencing all the things. So I'm really excited for you. And even in my small group, so we had to probably back up because Ellie and I haven't even talked about, we met like, is it 2 years ago or probably 2.5 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
I just started my Lofty Evo small group and we met at Connect Girl. And first impression, did you think I was crazy straight up?
Well, I think you knew. Well, I've talked about this so often with you. Well, seeing you at Connect, your picture, I totally thought you'd be so short.
Okay, no disrespect, but like whenever it's picture day at our church, like I'm always cooked. I don't understand. Like my surf picture has like a little bit of donut on my cheek, like jail. But not that they're bad. I just like don't know what the time, like what goes on there because I don't know, You just looked so I don't know maybe like there was a lot of wall above your head or something, so it made you look there definitely small. Was. So my first thing was, wow, she's tall, only because I was like, imagining you this tall. Okay, yeah. And it was just so weird that I had already signed up for your small group, and then you happened to sit at my table because Eva knew Kendall and Quincy. Yes. Yeah. So, sorry. And we just kind of talked, and then I think it kind of dawned on me in the conversation. I'm like, I think I signed up for your small group, and was that the first
time that you would open it up to connect?
Yeah, so I had just started my small group because I came back from church camp and was like, oh, we're doing this. And then we had only done it for maybe 3 months. And then I was like, okay, we're going to integrate it with Connect. And so you were one of the first people from Connect that really joined the small group. And one of the reasons why I love Ellie is because she just like says exactly what she's thinking.
Oh my gosh,
and it is so iconic. Like, it is so hilarious. We've had so many memories where we'll have small group and then we'll screenplay funny things on my TV. And I'm like, this is baddie energy. Like, I love it. So yes.
Yeah, well, that's so funny that you say that, because about like how it really wasn't super established or isn't.
It was fresh and new. It really was,
because it felt very established, because you all were so good friends, I think, right?
Yeah.
From Evangel.
Well, yeah.
And so I was like, I'm coming into something new, or like, I'm new, and these girls, like, they're like all buddies. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna come back next week, only because I'm like, it's new, and like, I don't know if this is like, because I had just joined Connect that April, and this is like September when groups are starting up, and I'm like, I'm used to, being in everything at church, and so I'm like, I think this is like where I want to really lay roots down at. So I was like, I'm serving in the nursery, and I was going to start hopefully doing worship soon, and I was like, I gotta get in a small group, and I just chose the one that applied to me, and I was just like, wow, these girls are so cool. And we don't need to go on all that again, because it gets you all flustered and like, oh, girl, come on. I'm like, yeah. But I thought they were cooler than me. But
well, it was so funny because you had joined, and I think right before you had joined, we had this other girl who had came. And at the time, like, I mean, I'm so, first of all, we're always still on a journey. But I was definitely still on a journey of like fully surrendering a few other things in my life. And I was kind of transparent about that in the small group. I don't know if like our energy scared her or what, but she had came, and then she never came back, which was totally fine. But I was, as a small group host, you're kind of like, I don't know what happened, but that's fine. And so when you came, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, are they going to come back? Like, are they going to come back? And you did come back, and I'm glad, because we, and then we really started all hanging out as friends. Like, basically, for context, some of you guys know I do lead a small group. I had God transformed me at church camp, came back, thought the Lord was like, be, intentional with your time, prioritize it. I said, I have all these friends. At the time, I was like having drinks multiple nights a week. And I was like, I have all these Christian friends, and we never talk about God. We never cultivate a community where we get to talk about what's really going on in our life. And so we just started in my loft. It's super simple. I bake Reese's peanut butter cookies, and we sit, and I kind of, whatever God speaks to me, we create a Devo, and we yap about it. And we've gone from 3 girls to like 15. And we have different girls from different seasons, and truly it has been a gift, which we took a pause for the summer, but it is something that I didn't know that I needed. And like the accountability and being real, and even Ellie and I, like, I feel like we have similar struggles sometimes and journeys, and just being able to like have people to talk about it and be like, well, I'm really struggling this month with this, I need prayer for that. Like, you don't understand, the Bible literally talks about the gift of community and friendship, and how it is such a blessing and obedience to God. And so it's been so great, like, getting to be closer to you, honestly, and having you in the small group, and like seeing how God has truly changed me and changed you. And even with your podcast, like, I think I prophesied over you too, being like, you're a leader. And so seeing you do this podcast and like reaching a whole other group of people in your life and in other people, it's beautiful, honestly. So
thanks.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, when you meet new people, you don't know if this is gonna be like you meet them and then it's like, it didn't really work out, or this is but I don't think I would have ever expected like such a deep friendship where we're arm in arm just walking through life together. Like, I don't think I ever would have, because I've never had that kind of Christian friendship. Like, in high school, I mean, we're just so immature and silly dilly. In college, you're just surviving.
Facts.
So now, like, to like be able to call somebody and be like, speak life over me, because I believe these lies, and just,
come on,
you know, and we're able to do that for each other, and just just be so real and messy. And it's such a blessing for sure.
I was even talking about it with some friends that I had obviously gone home for one of my friends' wedding, and it was amazing, so beautiful, but kind of like the demographic there is a lot of them are already married and that kind of thing. And everyone's kind of like, what's going on? You know, when is that going to happen for you, Morgan? What's your journey? First of all, I'm like, don't you think that if God was ready for that to cook, like it would be happening? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, obviously I'm waiting on God's timing. But it was kind of a cool thing because as much as I love all those people and I love that, like it would be really hard being around that all the time and being single. But then coming back to Missouri, I'm like, the majority of my friend group is all single, you know, like we have a few friends that are like married and in relationships, but you know, I feel so like, I don't feel rushed and pressured. I mean, obviously we go through like struggles and it's hard being a single woman, but it's also like, I don't feel this time ticking bomb because I'm surrounded in great community and I'm walking into my obedience, you know?
Yeah, and we get to go on this trip this weekend and we don't have to ask any husbands for input. We just get to go. Right. And just like get a group of girls together. We don't have, you know, and obviously husbands and children are blessings, but like we're truly living we're making the most out of this season of life, which is just so refreshing and not, you know, there's times of sadness, but that's not the whole vibe of it. It's so much more than that. Yeah,
and I think, I mean, you can definitely travel and do all kinds of things like that when you're married and in relationships, but also God knows my heart and I love traveling, and you know, maybe I'm not ready for that because of how much I love to be able to like hop, skip, and like go do all these things. And so just kind of navigating all of that. But yeah, it's a huge blessing. Tonight's topic is kind of talking about trusting God with your career, kind of a big career change, you know, navigating what that looks like, whether it's your choice or not. I think a lot of, especially women, I think, you know, we are more emotional creatures often, and so we can internalize it. Men, I know you guys do the same thing too, where we're overthinking, you know, why things, but sometimes God gives and takes away based on what's best for us.
Absolutely.
And so I know I've seen it in my life and I've seen it in your life, and so I think it's an important conversation to have because people out there might be feeling really lonely, and the thing about it is you're not alone. Like other people go through this, other Christians face this, and like what does that look like in trusting God? So Elli, I know you've recently mentioned that you are now in insurance and that kind of thing. Do you want to share a little bit of whatever you want of just kind of what your journey looked like there?
Yeah. So really, since I was 5 years old and I walked into school for the first time, I was like, you know, the heavens opened up and everyone's singing and it's like the most beautiful place on earth. You know, it just, I don't know what drew me to school. I just loved learning and I loved being teacher's pet and just like, you know, all this. I was so fascinated by this world, and I went throughout school just, I mean, it was either going to be, I was like going to be a teacher or I was going to be a pop star. So, and so we tried both.
That's the wrong button. There we go.
So we tried both. I auditioned for Kids Bop, did not make it. Auditioned for Shake It Up. I auditioned for modeling school. I never knew you auditioned for Shake It Up. Yes, I made my cousin record me on the camcorder 17 times because I couldn't get my cartwheel straight. I was just all
like
janky.
At home. You just like send a video in,
and he lives in Indiana, so I'm choosing to force him to do this for his limited time he's in town.
That's amazing. Yeah, the power you hold.
Exactly, and I tried all that. It didn't work out. So I was like, okay, teaching it is. You know, I love that as well, obviously. And went to college for teaching, and I taught for 3 years here in Springfield. And it was a wild, wild time. And it was not what I expected at all. And there were, high highs and low lows. It was just never anything like stable, and that was similar to how I grew up. And what I've reflected on now is that a lot of my like trauma responses were because being at the school I was teaching at, it was so similar to my childhood that I was like, I'm out, I got my education, I get to choose my life now, I get to choose peace and stability, and it felt like I was going right back into it when I didn't want that at all. And so every year it was like, I don't know how to obey you, God. I don't know how to obey you here where it feels so dark. It feels like, it just felt like no good was like coming out of things, it was how I felt, and I validated that, but it wasn't true. It wasn't fact. But when you're in anything similar to like anxiety, depression, it's so right in front of your face and it's all you can see. And so, gave it 3 years, and every year it got harder. And ultimately, God was very vocal and was like, I'm giving you a way out. And it was very, like, sadly at that point, it was my only choice, because it was either I leave the profession I've wanted my entire life, or something really bad could have happened to me, like, mentally. And I just remember praying, and I'm like, well, God, why? Like, why? At that point, it was just why. I had no other words except for why. And he said, I'm answering all your prayers.
Come on.
And I was like, I'm holding on to that. It is the only light that I have right now, because I'm so lost. It was like the floor had come out from under me, and it was a very, very scary time. And I'll just say, I decided that in November, and I had to finish out the school year. So those few months were very dark, and just trying to find the light, trying to figure out how to obey God and how to follow him when it seemed like I was in the dark. And I'm like, I have this, like, this is the most important time to obey, like, when it comes to a major life transition. So I was fasting, and I was praying and journaling and talking about it on my podcast. And I'm like, and finally, with lots of things seemed like it was going to work out, but they didn't. And I was just kind of like applying for anything at that point. It was like anything.
Keeping it real.
Anything that will pay the bills. And I was being picky. I didn't want retail or food, but I just, like, so many different, like, sales and management and just things that I have no experience in. But I was like, I gotta get in somewhere. I'm young, I can learn new things, and so there was an opportunity to do insurance sales, and I was talking to everybody about it. I was, just trying to figure out, like, is this a scam?
Yeah, real. Also real.
Is what is corporate like, and what is marketing like? What is sales like? Like, I don't even know, like, because you go to school, and then you go to more school if you choose to go to college, and then I chose to go right back to school. I felt like
I was like, you'll never catch me going to school again.
Yeah, so, like, I felt like
even though I'm, like, now learning, like, the most technical mechanical sciences ever.
Exactly. And I felt like I hadn't entered the adult world yet, and I was like, I don't know anything about. And I had all these interviews that flopped. It was so humbling. Yeah, but anyway, so I was telling my friend Quincy about this job opportunity. I was doing training. I was getting a license for it. And she was like, just in case, if you don't like the sales part of it, I work in underwriting. And so if you want to do more of the back end stuff, I can try to get you a job where I'm at. And I'm like, girl, I'm gonna be making like 6 figures. Like, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. And it's just the facade that is sold to you. And, people achieve that goal and people don't. And so I realized very quickly that the effort that was going to be put into making that kind of money, that's kind of the world I left, of, like, working long hours, feeling like that was my entire life. And so I called Quincy up and said, hey, let me, like, tell me more about this. And she gave me a number to call, and it was such a God thing. I did not have to apply. It was definitely a who you know type of situation. Yeah. And it was like less than a week of, like, call, interview, go through HR, got the job.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm used to, like, multiple interviews, like 3 stages of interviews for jobs, and this was just a 1 interview. And So I started there on, I'm an underwriter's assistant, and so I'm making what I needed to make. I work super close to where I live. I get to decorate my cubicle.
Yeah, Ellie we'll have to add some pics of her cubicle because
oh my gosh.
If you would see my cubicle versus her cubicle, mine I don't even know how to describe it. It's like mine's like the before and hers is the after, you know? So that's pretty much how.
See, I've moved in. I'm like, do not catch me. Or you will not catch me on LinkedIn ever again. I'm deleting the app. I'm like, I will never get on there again.
I literally go on LinkedIn. It's probably like my most used social media, to be honest.
It was just so depressing. I don't know. I'm just like, it's so boring.
And Facebook's not?
I don't know. It was so weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I deleted Indeed, deleted LinkedIn. I'm like, nothing. It's
like deleting all the dating apps.
For real. I'm like, you'll never catch me. So
I love that for you.
So yeah, I'm loving it. And I'm just trying to figure out this. There's just been so much reflection. And I think just the biggest thing is just about identity.
Yeah.
I did not realize that I needed help in that area because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a child of God, but like the way I live my life, it's kind of like how you spend your money is how like it reflects what you're what you prioritize. I feel like what you give your time to is showing who you are and like what you identify with and all that.
Conviction right here. Right here.
So yeah, it just
no, and I think like one, I'm so proud of you because as your friend who's really seen every step of the journey and who's also, I have been in job roles before that was unhealthy, crying on the floor, like begging God, not understanding, like you said, different interviews and just crazy stuff. And I remember like the enemy tries to lie to you and say like, you were so unworthy, you're not worthy, no one's gonna want you, you know. And when you're in that waiting phase, it's like that, no one's gonna want you. And it's so like classic, right? Like whether it's dating, right, and it's not the right guy for you, in your head you're taking it. I literally like wanted to make a TikTok about this because I think we take rejection from God so personal when it's just business, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, well, I don't get this person or this job because I'm not good enough and I'm ugly and I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough. And it's like, no, you didn't get it because you're not the best candidate for it. And you love this and this is, you love the country and this is in New York, you know? So and it's like, it's not that deep. It just wasn't for you. And so just seeing like the way that you've handled this like mentally and having to literally wait. I think the hardest thing is like one, when we're waiting for, you know, a good man of God, it's like, yeah, we're waiting, we have each other, we're praying. Yeah. But when you need a job and you have like an expiration date and you have no other, like that's a whole different level of faith of having to be like, I really got to trust you, God, because I have no other options.
Literally.
Yeah.
And my whole life I've known what I wanted to do. I've never had this, oh, I'm going to college, I don't know what degree to pick. Like, and I kind of felt, in high school, in my immature state, I was like, man, like, you don't even know what you want to do in your life? That's crazy.
You probably would have hated high school. I like figured it out like March of my senior year, like what college I was going to go to.
That's wild.
Yeah, girl. So I think like a question for me is, you know, what did your relationship with God look like in that season? You know, like, because I know even just talking about the faith, like the conviction for me, like I'm putting a prayer board up. I really struggle with trying to be intentional time with God and really praying hard for the things that I'm hoping and believing for. That's what I need to work on. But what did your relationship with God look like when you were kind of in the pits, right? Or like when you are navigating, like your identity is no longer going to be Ellie the teacher, but Ellie the underwriter. Like how did you navigate, I'm a child of God?
It was, I just remember saying to God, like, it's just kind of what I said before, I have to get this right. So I'm going to, you know, I just kept envisioning like the woman when God was walking through the crowd and she like touches his cloak and he realizes that like his healing has like come out of him. Like I'm grasping at you, like I need you so bad and you feel so far away and I'm going to do anything I can to feel close to you, because it's like it's kind of, it felt like being blindfolded, and I was reaching for like, who is my guide? And when those seasons of like silence, or not yet, or it's coming, or I'm like, you are not near, like, where, like, I'm here, I'm ready to obey, but you're not giving me anything to obey in. Or it felt that way, but really in the waiting and clinging to him, or even the grasping was obeying. It just felt so like, and like with everybody asking, which obviously I have so many people who love me and who want it, like they were stressed even more than I was. They're like, I can't sleep at night. Well, and for the first, couple months, I was like, oh, God's got me. I have peace about it. And then it got to, the point where the first thing fell through. And I was like, oh, I guess my peace was in that and not in God.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was God's answer, and then it wasn't. And which, it's hard, again, it's hard to not take it personal. I'm like, I assume it's because XYZ happened because this person, blah, blah, blah. Like, but really it's God saying that was not the job I had in mind for you.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all it is. And so it was a season of being very confident, but also, looking to him to make sure I obey. But then the last part was definitely like crying a lot and just, I don't know, just face down. I remember I was telling you guys my word of the year was humility, and I'm like, are you going to kneel down willingly, or are you going to fall on your face? And I felt like I fell on my face. Just like I had no other choice but to be humble and just be like, I don't know what skills I have in me that can be applicable to things that are not teaching, like because I would think about like, oh, let's try another district, and then I would actually work myself into a panic attack. So I'm like, okay, obviously that's not it. But it was a lot.
No, and I think a key thing that you're really doing is you're keeping it real with God. And I think sometimes people put Christians in a box of being like, but I'm like, God and I got into a tussle this week. Like, I'm driving in my car and I'm frustrated. Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck, and I want to know the answers, but what I've learned in my life, and I see it in your life, is, there are reasons why we go through certain things so that there's divine timing. Even my amazing job now, if I hadn't gone through this and this and this for 4 months and been rejected and been in a place, in a posture that I was exactly where I was at, it wouldn't have happened. And the same thing with you. Like, if you hadn't done X and Y and Z, you would have never been in the role that you're in now. Right. And so understanding that God's like, you are my daughter, abide in me and trust me. And this is a season where you have to grow in your faith. Because you know what, Morgan or Ellie, you may not believe hard enough. You may not. And I need you to be isolated so that you know how to seek me out. Because the next thing you're going to need to know. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I feel like God has been telling me. And I'm like,
yeah. Okay. And just another big part of this transition too was, if I'm not a teacher, then who am I? And I'm like, well, I am a child of God, but I'm like, but I guess I don't know what that looks like, because I thought that's what I thought I was. But really it was, I found all my worth in cute teacher posts and how just like knowing that I had great pedagogy and I was doing great things for the kingdom and for the future of America, and just like researching and just like all of just pouring my whole soul into this job, because I thought, this is my mission field, and it was, but I wasn't trusting God with it. I was like, I would even tell people, I'm like, it's so weird. I don't feel like I can ask God for help, because this is so stupid, because he doesn't have an education degree. I didn't think I know more about education than God. It's crazy.
Dude, he's going to clock you.
Yeah,
clock
exactly. It. And so now in this season where I'm at a job where like I don't know enough to really care what's going on. Like I want to help people. I want to make sure like the day goes smoothly and things are getting done and I have integrity and things like that. But I'm like, I don't like, this is a job so I can get paid to then live my life. Like, it's a place where I go and clock in and clock out, and I give it my all, and then when I'm done, I'm done. And I'm excited to figure out this new life where my life is identified by, you know, I love Jesus, and you know that because I'm in my word and I'm sharing what God is teaching me. Yeah. And I'm not sitting around talking about how awful public education is. I'm not sitting around talking about all the negatives and everything. I'm getting to talk about me and my life. And so that I'm really excited about. And I'm starting to live it now, and just like, I don't know. I don't even care if people know my job at this point. I'm like, that's not even like something, because I think about my friends. I'm like, when I go to describe you, I don't talk about your job at all. Or Raina.
Ellie, do you know what I do?
Now I do, because I watched your LinkedIn stuff.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
I said, this is why she's making TikToks. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I'm like, who cares about that? I guess people do.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Yeah.
But,
facts. No, most of my friends probably don't know what I do. That's okay. You know,
and I hope that's a compliment.
I'm pretty sure I know what you do. So. No. That's just the industrial industry, to be honest. Right. Yeah. Unless you're like literally fingers in it, you have no idea what it is. Yeah. But I think what you're saying is so true, because even my podcast listeners know, like, Hackgate. Like, we're coming on 1 year of all my social media being hacked.
And a year?
It's going to be a year in October, which is actually insane. And
it feels like it was yesterday.
Dude, I know. And obviously my coworker, who was a good friend of mine, had passed away, met in an accident. And there was a lot of going on. But, like, when you talk about you losing teaching and not knowing who you were, like, I remember my accounts being hacked. And my mom even was the one that was like, Morgan, this feels like a very spiritual thing, you know. And then when I lost my coworker, you know, it was just like this whole thing of like, who cares about social media? It doesn't mean anything, like blah, 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 blah. Like, everything was in perspective for me. And so understanding now, like, I feel like having all my accounts back, it's like a blessing, but I fully understand this is not who I am. This is just a tool. This is just a vessel. If God's telling me to post all those videos about God, it's just a vessel. It's like a tool, like you're using a hammer, right? It is not who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think that is really hard when it is your job, and you just believe. And like, you have a heart for teaching. That doesn't have to change. Maybe it's going to look differently. Maybe the teaching is behind the microphone now. I don't know. Yeah. You know? And so it's exciting to see your journey. So we've had some deepness. We're probably going to get deeper as well. I know we're coming a little bit closer on time. Summer I Turned Pretty. You know, we are Team Jeremiah, but it is not Team Jeremiah. No. We are Team Conrad.
I know nothing.
I met Jeremiah, Gavin Castellango at Upper Room, and I'm Team Gavin in real life, but I'm definitely Team Conrad for sure.
Interesting.
I'm actually Team the blonde girl and the brother. Like, I just want them to get together. Yeah. Okay? Like, that's who I want to get together. I'm like, Belly, you've been messing around with these brothers for far too long. So we are doing the rapid fire part of this, and Ellie is like one of my really, really good friends, and so I just want to do like rapid fire. Ellie, these kinds of questions are things that you don't put a lot of thought into, okay? I need you to just rapid fire the first thing that you think, okay? Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, rapid fire. Date, marry, kill. Jonas Brothers.
Oh, the
Jonas Brothers.
Okay.
Because Ellie loves like Disney.
I love the Jonas Brothers.
Okay.
Wait, what were the?
Hold on, let me just guess. I think you're gonna kill Kevin. I think you're gonna marry Joe, and then you're gonna date Nick. Okay, go.
You got them all wrong. I would kill Joe. I would date. I'm sorry. I only know the inappropriate version. What are the words you said?
Date, marry, kill.
Okay, date, marry, kill. Okay, I actually married Kevin.
What?
And date Nick. I was a Nick girl when I was a kid, but I just feel like Kevin's so real, you know? He's so sweet behind the scenes.
More for Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, biggest ick in a guy. And the type of ick we're talking about is like shallow. Like, this is not like a deep like character personality ick. It's like something like more just shallow. First thing that comes to your head.
Well, the first thing was kind of deep. I mean, just like chasing the money. I hate that.
Okay, don't ever go for a guy in sales.
Yeah, dude. It's too much.
Okay.
For me.
If you were to be a villain on a reality show, what reality show would it be?
Well, the first thing I thought of was Bachelorette, but I could literally never go on that.
Well, I guess you're the Bachelorette, and somehow you're also the villain. She's like, psych, I win, and
probably because I would be so mean to the guys. Honestly, it's a flaw of mine I need to work on. But
Dear ABC series, I would totally watch Ellie on the Bachelorette. Everyone knows. It's so funny how we are alike because you applied for all those shows. I applied for Farmer Wants a Wife, kind of for like the vibe, you know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is I realized I put my YouTube video on private until recently, and I'm gonna believe that's why they haven't emailed me.
Oh no!
Because you know what, farmers wish I was your wife. I'm just gonna say that because honestly, I don't think I really want Farmer Wants a Wife, but whatever. Okay, anyways, yes. What did I write here? Oh, favorite popsicle flavor.
I'm not big on popsicles, actually. I love ice cream, but I mean, really any of them. It's,
okay, favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookie dough, but double chocolate chip cookie dough, so it's chocolate ice cream.
This is literally me at work. I'm like, what did I even write? What did I even say here?
I was a first grade teacher. I can probably read it.
Hannah versus Miley.
Oh, Hannah.
Period. Honestly, both of them though.
I know.
Both of them.
I watched a couple episodes of the first season the other night. I couldn't fall asleep.
So good.
It was good.
So I think like a couple of things, which I know we're wrapping up on time here, so we're kind of making this a little bit shorter. But what advice would we give really for women or men, I guess, like in your career, if you're going through something that, something similar, or, depending on the temptation you're facing, maybe a sin you're struggling with, and also really like, how are we staying locked in on what God says? Like really as Christians, how do we navigate these challenges and making sure that we're believing the truth more than the lies?
So I will give a little bit of a update before I say my advice. I feel like right now I'm fighting comfort because I feel like Satan distracts when you're comforted, when you're comfortable.
Come on.
And so now that I'm in this job, I'm like, I don't need, in quotes, if you're not seeing it, I quote, don't need God as much, unquote. So I'm having to fight that really bad. But when I was reading the Bible every single morning with Tara Lee Cobble's commentary, it was so divine that like every morning it was exactly what I needed to hear, and God just used my obedience and discipline in that so much. And I know that God calls everybody to read their Bible, and everybody's journey looks different with that. But I mean, honest to God, like just being in the Word and having someone like help you alongside, like know the history and know like pull Hebrew words and like just making it real to you and in your own life, because some people read the Bible and they don't get anything out of it, and I think a lot of it has to do with it's this thing you have to study and open your heart to God to give you wisdom. And so I mean, I know it's so maybe basic, but just when I'm not in the Word, I'm not thinking about God. Just having that discipline and prayer life as well, for sure. But it helps. I don't know, just having that in the routine just is so helpful for me to just like, it's like a realignment almost, or like that's the word, or calibration or something.
You hear that word so much at work.
I was thinking about the smart board when you like click the dots.
Oh my gosh. I do not know how to work those, probably. No, I think that's nail on the head when you're not spending time with God. And I know the same thing. God's like the distraction of my phone or being tired, and the Lord being like, well, you train so hard for the gym, why can't you train in my word for your faith, right? And that's so good. And I think even like having small group, like I have seriously missed having small group, because I feel like I've missed having accountability, because especially as the leader, like I have to open up and be like, this is my struggle, which is for being as extroverted as I am, like that's honestly a blessing God's given me, because I have to literally be like, this is my sin. Mm-hmm. Everyone look at it, point at it, eat your cookies while you're watching it. And then that way, like I'm like publicly declaring in our friend group, and then being like, all right, like let's invite God in. And so I have these 10 girls who know what's going on. And so you really need to have that Christian community, because when I'm up and I'm doing great, Ellie might be down and I need to be there for her, or this likewise. And like you said, just spending that time with God, whether you're happy with him or not, like just like
Amen.
Letting him know, you know?
I'm so real with, I mean, I talk to God, honestly, because I just have the mindset of he already knows it anyway. He already can see into my heart, into my mind. Like, I might as well just say exactly what I'm feeling. I mean, when you read the Psalms, I mean, it is like lamenting and then pure rejoicing, and none of it is sin, to just communicate your feelings and just to, it's obeying, to give it back to him, to just say, this is yours. I don't know why I took it back from you, but I'm just gonna give it back, you know. And so that's a lot of my prayer life. It's not really, you know, I've tried to incorporate more truth into it, like scripture, like speaking things over myself and kind of reminding myself through prayers of what is true and what is not, and, you know, calling him by his, you know, many names, you know, Prince of Peace and King of Kings. And I'm trying to be more
vigilant.
And just like revering him for who he is. That's kind of what I'm trying to add into it. But I mean, I'm super vulnerable with him. Just like anything I'm thinking, I just say it.
No, that's so good. And I even think like the Lord kind of telling me I need to have a prayer board, like you know, it's like, how much are you believing for the things hoped for? You know, and maybe it's because I feel like I'm walking in blessing every day, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's like, you know, when you go in those really hard seasons where it's like, I need God like I need air. And like you said, when things are going well, like you have your routine, you know, but what if, you know, God's revealed things to me, and because I've gotten in it, I'm like, am I evangelizing like the God wants me to? Am I stepping out in faith and being like, you know, now the school year's starting, so we're gonna be more like locked in with it. But you know, writing down the things you're heavily praying for, and declaring, like having verses places, like really memorizing scripture, because when that enemy lies to you, then you can say, you know, John 3:16, for God so, like, I know what the Bible says about me. If we don't know what the Bible says about us, we will believe any lie that we hear, because we don't know the truth. Right. You know? So, just crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy. Well, Ellie, you're just literally gorge. And I'm so proud of you. Like, I think who I was 2 years ago was different. Who you were was different. And the fact that, you know, I've given up secular rap music for a year. It's still hard, dude. Big X. I'm like, stop making bops, bro. It's been a struggle recently. But like the fact that we're going to this Christian rap festival is such an awesome thing. Like, I would have never done this a year ago. You know, never. And so excited. We end every pod the same way. Favorite quote, favorite song, and what do you want your legacy to be?
So I'm stressed out because my quote is on my phone. Okay. So song-wise, I went based on what you've told other people, of maybe what you're listening to right now. Because favorite song is so... The weight is so heavy.
Look at my true friend listener. She literally knows. Because I was like, did I say that? Because when people are like, oh, I don't know. You're like, well, it could just be what you're listening to right now. I'm like, exactly.
Okay,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
So, Jackie Hill Perry came out with some new stuff.
Ooh.
And I listened to it today at work, or maybe yesterday. And one of them is called Shimmy, and it has Aha Gazelle, who's going to be there this weekend.
Okay.
So that one's really good. It's a good dance song. And she's like, why did I make a song that talks about dancing when I don't dance? Which I thought was funny. And then Antisocial with Jackie Hill Perry and Aja Walls. Yeah. But her voice is so pretty. So I've been listening to that. So much of Christian rap, I feel like they don't let any, like, there's no throwaway lines. It's all just hitting. I don't know. There's so many like KB songs that are, and just the ones that like I listen to, like No Big Deal, KB, Jackie Hill Perry, like they just make every line matter, and it's just like, whoa. Yeah. It's amazing. I love listening to it. Quote. going on the same lines as KB, is a thread that one of our mutual friends posted, which I don't...
Slay.
And it's in quotes, so I don't know who said it.
I'm sorry.
Did you know?
Yes, obviously. Women lore. Continue.
So it's in quotes, but he doesn't say who said it. So we're gonna say KB said it.
Okay, period.
So it says, "Saving a soul takes a moment, but shaping a saint takes a lifetime." I was like, whoa, because we talk about all the time, like, you know, we think like once you're saved, then life's easy, and it's like, no, girl. Like, everybody gets the same. Like, hardship does not play favorites. Like, it's just all, like, everybody has it. So, and he kept it going by saying, like, if God is patient with you, you need to be patient with you. Keep stepping toward Jesus. Like,
that's good.
Like, it takes a full lifetime to become the version of you that, you know, God has you to be. So, you know, you're never done growing. I really, really like that. I was like, dang, that's good. And then my legacy. So number one, I want people to just, when they think about me, they're just think like, she was so undeniably herself, just always just so authentic, and so like she just never let anything bring her down or anything like that. And but then, like, to go along with that, I want the most authentic version of me to be like Jesus at the same time. So like, I want to be like Jesus in how he made me to be.
That's good.
So, because, you know, I think about a lot, like, just everybody is, what's the word? Like, we're molded by experiences, but also, like, influences that we see. And it's just like, wait, is this me, or is this something that I think is cool that I want to, like, add on to my personality? So I just really want to be myself and grow and be more like Jesus every day.
That's so good. Yeah. Rapid fire. I'm going to do mine. Sure. Like you said, what we're listening to right now, obviously all is on to you, but Say It Ain't So by Weezer, just a good one, always. Quote, I'm listening to TED Talks. My mom has never heard a TED Talk before.
Wow.
And I'm on this motivational kick. This one guy, basically the whole thing was, if you change your daily habits, you can change your life. And it's so true. In decision making, your dreams, whatever. And then legacy, I want to pursue, like, I want my life to be exactly whatever God's called it, and I don't want to be afraid to be too Christian or like too, you know how the enemy loves to cook. Right. Even like I listened to a podcast episode of Zonti, and he talks about like that fear of being like, oh, well, you're the big Christian guy, like you're the big Christian girl, but it's a lie, because there's, you know, men of God and women of, like, you know how it goes when we see a man of God that's like serving and leading and walking in obedience, we're like, that's like the most attractive thing you can be, you know? And so I think just really answering the call and being a friend to all and fully submitting to God, that way, you know, when you finish like your work day and your boss is like, you did a really good job, like God being like, you slayed earth. You really killed it out there, girl. I can send you back. You did so good, you know? That's where I'm at. I
love it.
But Elli, thanks so much for coming on the pod and, you know, speaking so much wisdom and sharing, you know, your journey. It's so beautiful to see that, like, a lot of the hardships you face this year is going to touch a lot of people, and just encourage them, you know?
Thanks. It was so fun.
You're so fun. Everyone go listen to Elli's podcast. Can you name drop? Where to find you at, girl?
Yes, so I am on Spotify and YouTube and Apple Podcasts, all under My Digital Diary. Obviously, there's about 17 others that are also called My Digital Diary. So
yeah, but hers is like the only diary that matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if you follow me on Instagram, then I post links on there. So that way you can get straight to the episode if you can't find it. So
period. Well, I love you guys so much. Thanks for letting us chill this summer. I have an exciting merch thing happening soon. I'm like trying to get everything to line up. I'm kind of crazy. Like when I want a venue, I will just like show up to a location and try to find and ask for permission if it's like private property.
Yeah.
my coworkers were like, if you were to get arrested, what would it be from? And I was like, oh, for sure trespassing. I'm like, I don't really do anything else. What would you get arrested for?
Oh gosh.
Parking tickets or no? I'm just kidding.
Well, I will say I got 2 speeding tickets in 1 month, and they were like, if you get one more, your license is getting taken away. And then I wouldn't care about that. I would probably just drive without a license. So that'd probably be what it was.
And we are good people. We really are good people.
They're just hypothetical situations.
We would never do that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks, Ellie, so much for coming on. You guys, I love you. Remember that God is for you. Remember to reach out to people. If you are struggling, reach out to us. We always want, and honestly, tell us your feedback on the episode. Let us know if you're like, hey, I related to this. I appreciate it. Or can you talk about this? Because, we are here to serve. Be sure to follow everything on kingoutcash.com, on Instagram, YouTube. I don't know why I said it. I mean, you can go to the website. I don't know what you're going to do there. You can buy merch. You can hang out, catch a vibe. Yep. But yeah. Okay. Love you guys so much. Bye.
We want to say a big thank you to all of our guests on today's show.
Live, laugh, love you guys. Bye. See ya. Ta-ta.
Content segments paid for by Harry Cooper Supply, Wild Animal Safari.
They actually gave me like 10 minutes. I could cook something up real quick.
No, I know you could, because I believe you.